Hello, friends of the Arconsis YouTube channel. I'm Sebastian, UX designer at Arconsis IT Solutions, and in this tutorial, I'll show you how to do this. Okay, now we're in Blender, as you can see. And first of all, the job is to set the scene. So delete the default cube. Down here in the layout, I prefer to have the shader editor. We'll see more about this later. And of course, we want some reference of what we're trying to build in 3D. So for that, I'll quickly jump over to Figma. We have already prepared kind of what we are trying to build. So we want this hexagon kind of trophy badge with a golden stroke around the edge, and inside the beautiful arconsis logo also in gold, and the center should be in black. So what do we do? We export this as a PNG, export the arconsis trophy. And now we jump back to Blender, and here, Shift A, and we can insert the reference image, trophy, and now this is always as a reference. So let's get this in the 0 position, and also join the 0 position ourselves. So yeah, now here we see our reference. So this is what we're trying to build in the first step, which is the modeling step. So first we're trying to recreate this, but in a 3D model. Later, in the second step, we'll jump to texturing, so putting some beautiful materials in place. And the last one will then be the animation and a little bit of composition after editing of the lights and all of this afterwards. So in order to start the 3D modeling, we want to actually G to grab, set to move along the set axis. We want to move the reference down a little bit because we're going to be building our model here in the center, and yeah, that way it doesn't get in the way. So let's add our beautiful plane, which is kind of the outset. And by clicking tab, we get into the edit mode of this plane. So if we jump back to the set, first, what I like to do is scale it a bit. Maybe scale along the x-axis here, so we're kind of matching. And then also, just a little bit of the scaling and working with that. Then also, I use here on the left the loop cut tool to split this in two, and one loop cut is enough. And we have with the vertex mode selected, we actually want to now also scale these two vertices to match our model up here. So let's do that. Scale along the y-axis and move them out. And there we have it. We already have the first step done. So now we see we have the same plane that we had. Kind of as a reference. Now have it in our Blender plane mode. But of course, that is not enough. Now we're going to select the faces. There's also shortcuts for these, by the way. So one is the vertex mode, 2 is the edge mode. You see here, edge select, and 3 the face mode. And we need the faces now, because in the next step, we're going to make it 3-dimensional. Now we're going to extrude. We want to extrude to make our shape 3-dimensional. For that, we click on this plus, and we shift hold down so it doesn't move off to the sides. And yeah, now we have a little bit of a 3-dimensional shape right there. Looking good. For the next step, we want this beautiful border, this golden border. Here we can use the second tool in the toolkit right there, insert faces. For that, we select our faces. Let's also do this at the bottom, so it's mirrored. And let's simply pull this in. How much looks like it could be nice? Like this is a good one, probably 0.35. Let's clean it up a little bit. All right, so what's the next step? Next is we're gonna, here with the faces selected, extrude inwards, because we want this to be 3-dimensional. So holding shift again, we're going down. Let's see how much. 0.9 might actually be a bit too much. Try with the 0.5 for now. Yeah, let's do it on the side as well. So move in, and here's 0.05. Nice. So first step kind of done. It's looking nice. Next up, we want to include our nice arconsis logo here. So for that, jumping back to Figma. And now we don't export our shape as a PNG, but we're going to grab the beautiful arconsis logo like this and export it, not as a PNG. We want to export it as an SVG. Yeah. So export it back in Blender. We want to take our SVG file, import SVG. Here, import. And where did we drop it? Let's see. Okay, it's quite small, I guess. So let's scale it up with S. What's the size that we're going for? Maybe even a bit larger. Okay, I'll move it down to our side here. Slightly up. So a bit more time on centering it. It's actually a bit too small still. Nice. Okay, so we have that. But of course, this is a curve file, as you can see here in the corner. We need to actually turn that into a mesh, because in the next step, by tab, we're entering this, and messy topology. But yeah, let's just go ahead and extrude this too. Yeah, maybe a bit more is better, because we can always then move it back down into our shape. So nice. So we have our arconsis logo, we have our hexagon, and that kind of is our first beautifully looking trophy badge. But of course, in real life, shapes don't have these very hard edges. So in order to make it look a bit more realistic, we want to hop in here and use the next tool here in the line. So we've already had the extrude tool. We also had the inset tool, and now off to bevel. And for that, by clicking up, holding Option and clicking, we need, of course, the edge mode selected. We can pick out our edges like this and like this. And now we have all of the edges selected, and let's go for the bevel tool and kind of round the whole thing up a little bit. With more segments, it's going to look better. That should be good. So now that we have the corners here rounded off a bit, let's do the same with the actual edges, which I didn't really do in the Figma sketch, in the reference. For that, very important, mouse, just had to connect the mouse back. And here, if you hold down Control, by the way, if you're in the edge select mode and you click on the first one and now you hold down Control, it's going to select all of the edges in between, like this. So let's do that for all of our edges. Now, maybe it would have made sense to mirror this whole thing just now I'm now seeing, but I think it's also okay to do it this way. It's never the best way to approach something. If it works, it works. So, 2 more to go. And that's it. Nice. So now let's start the beveling. Get more, there's 4 before, maybe like this. Okay, I think we're getting a beautiful shape here. Slowly, slowly. So what else do we have? No, I think now we have our arconsis logo with a beautiful hexagon trophy or badge, maybe the beautiful hexagon badge. Let's check it again from up here. Mostly symmetrical. Let's move the arconsis logo slightly to the right, actually. And now we can get to the next step, which is actually super interesting, which is the texturing.